They both came up over the years with Prime Minister Modi. We've had many conversations on both of those issues. Obviously, Canada will always defend freedom of expression, freedom of conscience, freedom of peaceful protest. That's something that's extremely important to us. At the same time as we're always there to prevent violence, to push back against hatred. I think on the issue of the community, it's important to remember that the actions of the few do not represent the entire community or Canada. The flip side of it, we also highlighted the importance of respecting the rule of law, and we did talk about foreign interference.
Justin Trudeau, did Prime Minister Modi said anything about the issue of Khalistan? Mr. Trudeau, did Prime Minister Modi said anything about the issue of Khalistan? Mr. Trudeau, what do you want to say about the issue of Khalistan? Mr. Trudeau.
Well, one of the thorny issues between Canada and India has always been that of the Khalistan issue. The Indian government and Indian authorities have often complained that Khalistani groups or extremists have got tacit support from the Canadian government. In the sense, not much has been done against them. Rather, the Canadian government has been very soft on them. The parliament over there also has many leaders of Indian origin, and yet, despite knowing the kind of trouble which is we are facing over here because of these active Khalistani groups, not much has been done. There are two other countries where India has raised concerns about. One, of course, is Australia, which has also seen some defacing of temples, attacks on them. The Australian authorities came down very strongly on them. Now, as far as UK is concerned, we also know that the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, just before coming for the G20 Summit, had unequivocally condemned any attempts by any Khalistani group to stoke trouble in India and said that they would be cracked down on. So it was understandable and expected that in that bilateral meeting between Justin Trudeau and our Prime Minister, the Khalistani issue will definitely come up. And this was, of course, confirmed by Justin Trudeau himself, saying that this is something which we did discuss and the bilateral meetings which was held between both the sides, and an assurance also going in from Canada to India that it will not be a fertile soil as far as these extremist groups are concerned. There has been alarm bells which have been sounded, which gives evidence and report and indication of the fact that once again these pro-Khalistani groups are regrouping and trying to create trouble in India. In fact, if you remember, during the Amritpal Singh issue, this was exactly the point which was raised by Indian authorities, that who were the ones who were supporting these pro-Khalistani. It was traced back to Canada particularly, and this was a concern which was raised by Indian authorities that not enough is being done as far as the Canadian authorities are concerned. But just to step back and look at why is it that Canada is seemingly soft on these Khalistani terror groups? Well, there are socio-political concerns and compulsions which many among the Indian authorities concede, which is why it is felt that the reason why Justin Trudeau has not been doing enough. For example, as far as the base or the backing of Justin Trudeau is concerned in what has been a difficult election for him, it is believed that this substantial section of pro-Khalistani or sympathizers are also the ones who backed him. They also wield tremendous amount of not just political but also social and economic power, which perhaps explains why it has been difficult for the Canadian authorities or Justin Trudeau to come out very strongly against them. But you know, in the New Delhi declaration, one of the strongest words which have been pointed out is on acts against terror. It also has said categorically that no act of terror is going to be tolerated, and every effort will be made by the constituent countries to ensure that this kind of groups are frowned upon and strong action is taken against them. Given that backdrop, it will be very difficult for the Canadian authorities not to come out with any kind of a commitment to India, and that's exactly what happened in that bilateral meeting between Canada and India. Well, what remains to be seen now is whether Canada will indeed walk the talk. It's not going to be easy for them because of the socio-political compulsions, but with the world looking up and also the G20 countries watching out for what Canada is doing, it may be very difficult road to walk for Justin Trudeau, but it's a commitment which he already has made to India.